We have breaking news at this hour. First Lady and former sapphic model Melania Trump just got the worst surprise of her life, and this drama is about to play out before the American public. Think it's gross now? Stay tuned. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Melania Trump, or as she's known in some circles, the mail-order First Lady, has kept a lower profile than most of her contemporaries. As opposed to, say, Nancy Reagan, who took an active role in shaping White House policy, especially after Ronald Reagan's Alzheimer's began to affect his mind, or as opposed to Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama, both of whom had their own personal initiatives focusing on America's children and furthering human rights abroad, Melania Trump does fairly little. Throughout Donald Trump's first term, she demanded to stay in New York with their son Barron, seldom even staying in the White House. Though Barron is now grown, Melania continues to eschew public appearances or any involvement in the Trump administration. That did, however, change fairly recently, when the Slovenian-born First Lady suddenly involved herself in the war in Ukraine. Did you catch this?
Meanwhile, at the White House, First Lady Melania Trump announced she has been working with Russian President Putin to return Ukrainian children who were kidnapped into Russia during the war. For more on this, NBC White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins me now. Gabe, thanks so much for being here. So what more did we hear from the First Lady today?
Hi there, Kristen. Well, it really was remarkable for the First Lady in the grand foyer here at the White House, making those comments. She spoke for about 6 minutes or so. And as you said, she had been having these back channel President Vladimir Putin, she says, for the last 3 months. And she was urging him to return children separated from their families during the war in Ukraine. Let's listen to some of what she had to say.
President Putin and I have had an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of these children. For the past 3 months, both sides have participated in several back-channel meetings and calls, all in good faith.
Now, the First Lady had written a letter to President Putin that President Trump had given to the Russian leader during his summit in Alaska. So it was pretty remarkable, Kristen, to see her, that she had been having these talks with Vladimir Putin, and she says that more children will be released in the future.
And if you think that's ridiculous, stick around. It gets even more embarrassing. At this point, it's anyone's guess why Donald or Melania Trump would continue to believe they have any personal sway with Vladimir Putin. Maybe it's an Eastern Bloc thing. Who knows? And frankly, I feel bad for Melania, at least some of the time. Other than being married to a possibly syphilitic wannabe despot, there's the matter of Trump's numerous affairs and his relationship with sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Mounting evidence suggests Trump had an intimate knowledge of Epstein's crimes as they occurred and may have even participated in them. Of course, if Congress would just release the Epstein files, we would know for sure, wouldn't we? For more on that, see our other videos here on the channel. One of the loudest voices in connecting Trump and Epstein is author Michael Wolff, a Trump biographer who has authored 4 books on Trump's life and presidency. Wolff has long contended that Trump took part in Epstein's crimes and that photos exist of him with nude underage women. Again, see our other videos for more on that. Apparently, Melania Trump is paying attention too. Last night, Wolff filed a bombshell lawsuit in New York accusing Melania Trump of trying to intimidate and silence him with a whopping $1 billion lawsuit. The Daily Beast, which we should mention also employs Wolff as a host of its podcast, now reports that Wolff is invoking strategic lawsuits against public participation, or SLAPP laws, in the suit, arguing that a cease and desist threatening the libel suit by Melania Trump is tantamount to intimidation of a journalist. Journalists are protected under SLAPP laws. In a statement, Wolff said, quote, "I've written 4 books about Donald Trump and have never been sued. Mrs. Trump threatened lawsuit is what lawyers call a strategic lawsuit against public participation, a SLAPP suit. Its purpose was to intimidate and silence me, as Donald Trump has done to so many news organizations and reporters. Fortunately, New York has anti-SLAPP law. This law protects people sued for making statements involving matters of public concern. In order to avail myself of this protection, I choose to begin an action against her rather than have her threats hanging over my head indefinitely," close quote. Wolf then added, quote, "I look forward to asking Melania and Donald Trump about the matters at issue in this case, including their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein," close quote. The crux of the lawsuit rests on comments Wolf made on the Daily Beast podcast titled Inside Trump's Head. Wolf has said on numerous occasions that Melania and Donald Trump first consummated their relationship on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, something Melania denies. Now, we should mention at this point that the Daily Beast has removed a portion of an episode of Inside Trump's Head where Wolf discussed Melania. Another article has also been removed from the website, likely out of an abundance of caution. But here's the kicker. Even if Wolf loses his lawsuit, it will still afford him and his lawyers an opportunity to question Melania and Donald Trump, if not on the witness stand, then through deposition. And that will further add pressure to House Speaker Mike Tiny Johnson to allow release of the Epstein files to corroborate their stories. If they lie, they would face perjury charges, or in Trump's case, impeachment. That is what got Bill Clinton impeached after all. And who knows what other details would come to light about Trump's involvement with Mr. Epstein. Needless to say, this is a developing story, so count on us here at Occupy Democrats to keep you up to date as we learn more details. Remember to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date. I'm David Reddish.